ladies and gentlemen. The topic is public sector enterprises contribution to economic development, and I will be speaking about the company which I represent, which is Petronet LNG Limited. We are a major player in the oil and gas sector, in the gas sector, and the role of Petronet LNG in the energy economy. What is from Petronet LNG's perspective. Public sector enterprises, as we know, it has always played a very dominant role in our country, right from early days in the economic development. And prior to independence, we had the mammoth public sector enterprises, but were confined to very few sectors like railways, P&T, ordnance factories, and the like only. But post-independence, visionary leaders of independent India drew the roadmap for the development of PSUs as an instrument for self-reliant economic growth in the country. CPSEs have been the mainstay of Indian economy, and originally the mandate of setting up of CPSEs were to serve the macroeconomic objectives of higher growth, achieve self-sufficiency in production of goods and services, and facilitate long-term equilibrium in balance of payments, and ensure stability in prices, and create benchmarks of prices for essential items. With the onset of economic reforms in the early 90s, government initiated a systematic shift to an open or liberalized economy with reliance on market forces, and larger role was there for the private sector and foreign direct investment, and likewise. CPSEs were then exposed to competition from this domestic private sector, as well as large multinational corporations. And given the competitive environment, it was time that the CPSEs undertook significant initiatives for a scaling up of technologies, capacities in a massive way in order to stay competitive and operate at par with the private counterparts in this new liberalized regime. And with continued and focused efforts towards achieving excellence, several of the public sector enterprises naturally became self-reliant and are playing a critical role in the Indian economy. There are several shining examples, as we know, in the world scenario, competing with the world leaders, very big names who have done exceedingly well, like the Navaratna companies and the lot. And contribution to the central exchequer was one of the main contribution to the Indian economy, contribution to foreign exchange earnings, employment generation, no doubt. CPSEs played a massive role and emerged as a major wealth creator for investors and stakeholders based on growth witnessed in market capitalization. Of course, CSR not to be left behind. Many PSUs were the pioneers in CSR activities. And coming to the energy sector, as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, India is an upward growth trajectory leading to a steady growing demand of energy. It grows at the rate in which the economy is growing. Maybe the demand of energy matches with the growth in economy, which may be around 7 to 8%. And energy being the vital engine for growth, challenges to ensure a steady flow of reliable, clean and affordable energy to be sustainable in the long run. I come to know the company which I represent, which is Petronet LNG Limited. Petronet LNG Limited is a relatively new entity in the Indian corporate sector. It was formed as a result of unique Government of India's initiative in 1997, to ensure the security energy of the nation. And the cabinet decided that there needs to be a separate entity to ensure energy security of the nation, meet the growing energy requirements with special focus on LNG, which is liquefied natural gas. Natural gas consumption in the country then was limited only from domestic sources, the likes of ONGC, Bombay High, from their Bombay High and other fields, and Oil India, for example. And there was a lot of unexplored potential from domestic sources, which was hitherto not tapped. And we also had the inability to secure supplies through the transnational pipelines like TAPI and IPI and all the pipelines, which even now we are talking about, but has not come to reality. So Government of India mandated a PPP model, which is a public-private partnership model, to import LNG, set up LNG regasification terminals at places like Hazira, Dahej, Kochi, even Kayangulam near Kerala was one of the venues considered, or Ennur or any other suitable location. Participate in integration projects upstream and downstream of LNG terminals. Again, as I said, we have a very unique structure. It was incorporated in 1998, so we are just a 16-year-old company. We have an authorized capital of around 1,200 crores and a paid-up capital of around 750 crores. We started our commercial operations in 2004 with the commissioning of our terminal at Dahej, which was the first LNG terminal to go on stream. And the structure is that it is held, 50% of the company equity is held by the 4 oil majors, which is BPCL, GAIL, IOC, and ONGC, and 10% of it is held by a French company called Gaz de France, who had the technology. Back in 90s and early 2000s, we did not have the technology for LNG import into the country. So there was this company called Gaz de France who became our strategic partner. So 50% of the equity is held by government, though not directly. And again, the structure is very unique in the sense that the chairman of the company conventionally is the secretary of petroleum and natural gas, and then we have a board of directors. Coming to the energy consumption pattern, if you see, we are basically oil and coal-based economy with almost 80%. The upper circle shows the 2009 scenario, and the lower chart shows the 2013. Not much different. Around 75 to 80% of our energy basket comprises of coal and oil, and gas. Gas is occupied by only 9%. 9% of the energy basket is contributed by gas. India is a major gas and LNG consumer. We are the 15th largest consumer in the world. We consume something like around 140 to 145, maybe little updated figures as of now, 145 million standard cubic meters per day of gas. And we are the 4th largest importer of LNG, which is liquefied natural gas. And that comes to around 48 million standard cubic meters per day. And economy growing at 6%. We have a similar growth in energy consumption. Share of natural gas is around 9% at present. The attempt is to take it to 20% by year 2020 or 2025. And our major obstacles in this are the distribution network, which is a pipeline network which has to be laid throughout the country. Gas Authority of India Limited, which is one of our promoter, has the major responsibility of laying the pipelines. And if you see the sector-wise gas demand in the country, it is something like that 80% of the demand is met by power and fertilizer sectors and balanced by city gas, some industries, and others. So this is where this graph shows the relevance of this industry, which is liquefied natural gas industry. The bottom, that bottom curve, what you see is the domestic gas production in India by the likes of Reliance or ONGC or oil or Cane India. These are the oil producing, gas producing companies in India. And the top one is the realistic demand that is there in the country. So if you see the 2014-15, our domestic production is something like 110 MMSCMD, and we have a demand of 2.5 times that. So this is where the relevance of LNG comes. LNG is trying to fill this gap between the domestic production and the total demand. This is just a pictorial view of the gas infrastructure which is available in the country. There are 4 working LNG terminals on the western side of India. The first one is Dahej, owned by Petronet LNG Limited. Second one is the Kochi terminal, which is again owned by Petronet LNG Limited. We have a small terminal owned by Shell and Total, Hazira, again in Surat, near Surat, and we have a 4th one, Dabhol. These are the 4 operating terminals, and there are many others which are in the pipeline. And as far as Petronet LNG is concerned, it was the first LNG terminal to start operations in India. It firmly established itself as an important player for meeting India's energy requirements. The Dahej terminal is one of the success stories of the terminals in this part of the world. It operates continuously at more than 110% of its capacity. Very few terminals have emulated that kind of performance over the years. And we also have signed a long-term contract with Qatar, which is the largest supplier of LNG in the world. And we have been making continuous profits right from inception. As I told you, the operation started in 2004, so we have just completed 10 years of our operation. We are fairly a new entity in the gas, in LNG industry. And our revenues have been steadily growing from something like 5,500 crores in 2006 to around 37,000 crores in the last year. And this is some economic value generated figures. This is how we have been contributing to the economy. Just some statistics from the last year. We have generated something like 31,600 crores of economic value, and we have made payments of almost 6,000 crores to the government. And these are just some ratings of the company. Just to conclude, Petronet LNG Limited is the first Indian company to establish LNG imports to India, and starting its operation in 2004, it has established as a credible energy player importing large quantum of LNG. As on date, PLL supplies almost 30% of the gas consumed in India, and this sort of natural gas is the cleanest and greenest fuel that is available in the present day. And by supplying gas to these various industries, PLL has helped these industries substitute the more polluting liquid fuels and help the environment. And such large investments have been made possible only through joint ventures and participation by oil companies. So that is what I would like to conclude, that PLL has been the pioneer in the Indian LNG market and played a pivotal role in changing the Indian energy scenario in the last 10 years of its operation. And as the first company to import LNG, PLL is instrumental in shaping the growth of India's natural gas sector. Thank you.